Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the August meeting of the Montgomery County Legislature to order. And clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Chair Pep,
Present.
Legislator Kelly, Legislator Sweet,
Here.
Legislator Allen,
Here.
Legislator Hedwell Jr.,
Present.
Legislator Majewski,
Here.
Legislator Kowalczyk,
Here.
Legislator Pollock.
Present.
Can we please stand and Legislator Allen, can you please lead us with the pledge of the flag?
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we recognize those who have fallen since our last month's meeting. David J. Miller of Amsterdam passed away on July 21st. He served in the U.S. Navy from 1975 to 1978. Dr. Alfred Marini Sr. of Amsterdam passed away on July 25th. Dr. Marini was called up to serve in the U.S. Navy during World War II and again was called into military service during the Korean War. John Vincent De Palma, formerly of Amsterdam, passed away on August 2nd. John was a Vietnam War veteran serving in the U.S. Navy from 1960 to 1964. Vittorio Valentino of Amsterdam passed away on August the 3rd. He proudly served in the Italian Navy from 1958 through 1963. Gene Landon of Amsterdam passed away on August 6th. He was a combat veteran of the Korean War, serving in the U.S. Army, and I believe he's the father of former Consul Doug Landon as well. Dave Swazowski of Charlton passed away on August the 13th. He served in the U.S. Army Reserve from 1966 through 1971. And last, but certainly not least, the Honorable Daniel P. Wilson passed away on July the 30th. Dan was a veteran of the U.S. Army Reserve during the Vietnam War era. He also served Montgomery County government as a town of Florida councilman and on the board of the legislature for 9 years. And he was a friend to all of us and a colleague that we came to respect over the last several years, and we will miss him very dearly. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay. Clerk, do we have public comments
No,
or communications? No.
no.
Any public comments or presentations from the congregation? Hearing none, motion to approve that list of meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
All right, we got legislators Sweet and Hedwell. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
All right, our next order of business, acceptance of the budgetary transfers. Do I have a sponsor? Legislator Kowalczyk and Legislator Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
A motion for the acceptance of the procurement record, please. Legislator Sweet and Legislator Pollock. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
All right, what's on to our resolutions?
I think you need a motion to add. You want to add them?
Yes. All right, our first resolution is a resolution authorizing a fireworks display at the former Beech Nut facility to occur in the month of September. I'll sponsor it. Do I have a second? Legislator Sweet. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
I'm gonna add that one. Oh yeah, you know what? I need a motion to amend this agenda for the add-on of Health and Human Services resolution. That's the way we're gonna handle it. We're gonna withdraw the one that we approved and just add on the new one.
I'll make a motion.
All right, and second legislator Pollock. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
All right, I'm sorry about that. So on to resolution number 203, amending the 2025 operating budget, snowmobile trails grant and AIM program. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 204, authorizing the county executive to sign contract for uniform services with Cintas Corporation. Sponsors were legislators Majewski and Kowalczyk. Discussion.
I have a discussion, Chair.
Yes.
I did reach out to Megan in regards to this resolution, asking, because it did say that they were the lowest bid, and we did find out that there wasn't any other bidders. But we're supposed to, when these things come forward, there was supposed to be an attachment with the
Results of the bid.
results of the bids. And lately, we haven't been seeing that lately, so if we can make sure that that gets out,
Yes.
because,
Good point, Legislator Headwell, and we will look to make sure of that and keep an eye out for it going forward on these bid situations. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 205, amending the 2025 operating budget, Montgomery County Traffic Control.
204.
204 was Cintas. We did that.
Okay.
203 was the operating for the snowmobile trail. We did that.
Gotcha.
And 202 was
Okay.
the firework one. So I think we're in order. Okay, again, resolution number 205, amending the 2025 operating budget, Montgomery County Traffic Control. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Sweet. Discussion. Yes, Treasurer Bowerman.
There is a typo in that resolution under the further resolve. It should be increased revenue, not decrease.
Motion to amend.
All right, motion to, I'll sponsor that amendment. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Legislator Sweet. All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, now on the resolution as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
All right. Resolution 206, authorizing county executive to enter into a contract for engineering services for roadway and drainage improvements to County Road 31, Switzer Hill Road, with Greenman Peterson Incorporated. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Sweet. Discussion.
sure.
Yes.
I'm kind of, we had a meeting, and you and I were at the meeting, and we asked about this, and that's why this resolution came forward. But I think about a month ago, Legislator Sweet asked what the progress was at that point. So I'm kind of upset that we weren't told a month ago that we were waiting for this resolution. If we hadn't been at the meeting, we would still be waiting for this resolution. We were told a month ago that the reason nothing was being done is we were waiting on the state.
Well, I think what the commissioner said was, I put the ball in your court and you're in Pete's court saying this is what the cost was, remember?
No.
And he did send an email to Pete and I,
No,
but
that was, we're talking about, when Brian asked the question, Brian was told, we're waiting on the state to get some
Oh,
information.
yes, I'm sorry,
So
yes.
at that point, we should have been told, no, we need the engineering services.
First.
We weren't
Yeah.
really waiting on the state.
No, you're right, that's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
what story? I mean, that's, we would still be doing this.
I know. Well, I'm glad we handled it.
Yeah, no, I just-
But, yeah, good point there. All right, this has been amended last week, it had it coming out of fund balance, but, the commissioner found money in professional services, so, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 207, establishing the position of mail and printing technician in the data processing department and abolishing positions in data processing and youth bureau. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 208, reclassifying one motor vehicle operator part-time to mail clerk part-time and transferring the position to the data processing department. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 209, amending the 2025 operating budget, surplus equipment auction. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Hang on, please. Okay. Passed.
Okay, Resolution 210, amending the 2025 operating budget for Public Works. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 211, to settle pending litigation. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Kowalczyk. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 212, amending the 2025 operating budget from Public Defenders. Sponsors were legislator Majewski and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 213, amending the 2025 operating budget for assigned council. Sponsors were legislator Majewski and Sweet. Discussion. I guess I have some discussion. Attorney Francisco is here, and thank you, Jeff, for being here this evening. Appreciate it very much. We're doing fine. How are you?
Good.
This one kind of hit us like a freight train last week when we saw it, and you know, we're very conscious about large hits to our fund balance out of the blue, and this is a large hit to fund balance out of the blue that we were kind of blindsided by. Now, you know, we found out, history taught us that in 2023, the amount here was, that we budgeted was, I don't know, Sean, something like 400 and some odd thousand in 2023.
2023 was only about 50,000.
Well, I thought that was last year. Last year it was 150 because we had to add money to it last August.
Correct.
It was a higher amount in 23. Anyway, in 24 it got budgeted for like 180, and we had to jolt it up later in the year. So this year we budgeted an amount that was representative of what we had to jack it up to last year. And then this came out of the blue because of, you know, we need more money here. Now, we're all under the impression and understand that the rate per hour went from 90 to 158, which is contributing to this.
Went from what did you say?
90 an hour to 158 an hour.
Yeah, like 75 an hour too.
You know, it went up.
Yes.
So we understand that that is comprising a large part of the difference here. But we don't, you know, and this is not on you, Attorney Francisco, as far as, you know, the creation of this resolution is a very thinly and sparsely detailed resolution asking for a lot of money. And what it did is, as we began to mine out the situation a little bit more, you know, we realized that, you know, there's not a lot of accountability in this area, you know, for us, with dollars going out the door like this. You know, the treasurer has indicated he's pretty much just budgeted for this from year to year based on prior year's activities and things like that. So, I mean, we were all a little concerned, you know, about such a large dollar amount. And so what we decided to do last week was leave this open, but come back and adjust it down to a dollar amount tonight that we would need to pay all the bills on our desk right now until we got some further explanation and further detail regarding this. Wherein this resolution should read, you know, should have detail in it. Whereas the rate has gone up from 190 to 158, you know, and whereas the number of cases has increased, you know, this kind of thing.
Okay.
So that we have some substance behind the mathematics involved that the money's being asked, the request. Now, one thing I want to commend you on that I've discovered is that since you've been overseeing this, I believe, there are claims submitted for this money for reimbursement. And I've been informed by our treasurer that last year reimbursement was about $60,000. This year, year to date, from the state, $125,000, and that's a figure that we're estimating is through half of a year or so, through June. So, the expenditure that we have to make in this area is somewhat offset,
I mean,
by
theoretically, because now we're past any of the former billings at the $75 rate where we were not being reimbursed.
Mhm.
Now it's all at the 150 rate, and we are basically being reimbursed 50%. So our responsibility still remains at the $75 an hour
Okay.
amount.
Okay.
So even though we have to pay them, and it comes in as a significant request,
Yes.
over time, there should be about a 50% reimbursement of
But
the
we're
amount.
getting 50% of the 75, not 50%.
No,
of-
50% of the 150.
Oh, we are.
So the increase in the rate basically was picked up by the state. That was the theory.
Okay.
To offset the rate increase,
Okay.
they offered their 50% reimbursement. We've got to go back and put those together, but over time, we should be getting 50% of the allotments or the budgeted
The
amounts.
claims that you put through.
Yes.
Now-
So initially, we have to pay them,
Mhm.
but over time, it should be about 50% of that amount.
Yeah, we're in the business of, laying out money that we get back, right? That's
Right, yeah.
one of our largest sources of
Right.
income in this county are grants that we gotta lay out the money before we get it reimbursed,
Right.
so,
I mean, just from what I saw in the office this year, there's around the end of the year, there's a lag where claims are being submitted or we put a deadline on them. Just after the first of the year, we get hit with a lot because it's been built up by them. And I saw immediately, just in terms of the vouchers coming in very early in March or even February, that they were much greater than the prior years,
Mhm.
seemingly. I was
think
hoping
it would be
for,
good if you could communicate that kind of information. I mean, if you don't have a relationship with our treasurer, now'd be a good time to get his number. To let him know so that we're not blindsided by this type of thing. But also, given, the structure that it appears that this has been operating under a little bit more fastidiously the past couple of years, I think it may not be a bad idea if we can keep track. Can your secretary, when she sends, or your office clerk, whoever's handling this for us, can she send us copies of the claims to the treasurer or no? Like download a file so that we know what the churn is ahead of time?
yeah,
You know
sure.
what I mean?
We submit them to the treasurer's office.
To get paid,
Yes,
the
So-
bills.
yes.
Okay, no, but the claims, so that we know how much might be coming back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
Yes.
see what I mean?
Yes, yes,
I know
yes.
you're submitting the bills for
I was
payment.
confused by the
Because
word
everybody
claims.
wants the money.
The reimbursement you're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Yes, right.
And also,
We were sending them to Megan, and I'll put you on the email list too when we.
No, I don't need them.
Okay.
I'm not looking for it as chairman, and, it might be another chairman next year, so this has gotta go on within the operation of the county with
Yeah.
the people who work
Yeah.
here, 40 hours a week,
Right.
But I just wanna make sure that there's structure to it.
Yeah.
That we're seeing what the reimbursement can be, or is looking like it's going to be lining up with the outlay that we know we have, evidence of, in the form of the bills. And also, insofar as the budgeting process. Now, our budget is in, and it's a little too late, although you could always have a conversation with Sean about, because it's, we still have a lot of things to vote, we have to go through our whole budget proceedings in October. So, it may not be a bad idea to give him an idea what might be a sound number for 2026 too here, since, you know, you're our eyes and ears here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Certainly, I'm already thinking double from last year, because that's what we're already asking. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
conceive necessarily next year from a volume perspective is gonna be anything less than what it is.
this year.
Right.
But the good news being, now how much of this year's volume was reimbursed at the $75 or none of it?
Probably none.
When is this-
When we finally do the reimbursement, it'll all be at the 150 rate.
When do you do the reimbursement?
It's about a 6-month lag period.
Okay.
Chair,
Yes.
where's that reimbursement money going now?
Where is it going out?
Where is it
No, it's
coming
coming in.
It's
into?
going in his budget.
It's going to his budget, so does that 450 represent is that just none of that coming out? Money
That's
that
the
you
outlay, it's
received?
not the net.
Right.
That's our outlay,
You're right.
and we're gonna be waiting for the 50% to come in.
Correct. This is what has to be budgeted to pay the current vouchers that have come in, and then we will process those vouchers and seek the state reimbursement against them at 50%.
Okay. I mean, in some respects, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Now,
I know.
is there
It's hard to control. I have little control
I know.
over the vouchers that come in and the caseload that gets assigned. It's a product of the public defender's office effectively citing a conflict, at least in the criminal cases, that they basically are saying, we can't handle the case, it's a poor person case or a indigent case, and therefore it falls into my office for assignment on 18B. Family court, which is a lot of the pressure on this coming from family court for a couple different reasons, but by nature, there's two sides on a family court case. The public defender can only handle one, so there's much more assignment of 18B out of family court by implication of the fact that there's always two sides, and many of the cases over there are indigent cases.
Okay.
A lot of it's a product of the fact that people are not hiring their own attorneys to handle cases.
Right,
The state has promoted that
yes.
by their standards effectively, in terms of who qualifies and who doesn't for indigent representation.
What's the
Sure.
question?
I get pretty much the money that's going out on this. I'm trying to understand the money that's coming in. Are these reimbursements, are they a guaranteed reimbursement? Are they settled on a case-by-case basis?
No, they're guaranteed.
They're guaranteed. So you know how many, well, you can kind of figure how many cases you had this year and plan that you're going to have at least that many next year and plan on those reimbursements coming in.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean,
But we have to, from a budgetary standpoint, from my standpoint, we have to budget properly for the volume of the vouchers that will come in
the outlay, right,
versus the reimbursement.
yes,
Right.
understood.
So something like this doesn't occur,
Yeah.
where,
We get caught 8 months into the year where we need to,
right,
you know, put more gas in the tank,
exactly,
you know.
right.
Treasurer?
The reimbursements are based on the hours that the attorneys work,
Okay.
and same with the payment. The payment to the attorneys is based on the hours, and the reimbursement is based on the hours.
No, well, effectively, if the voucher is $2,000 and we're covering that, the reimbursement's gonna be $1,000.
Right.
Because now it's all at the rate of 150, and they are giving us, except for misdemeanors, but that's a small area. For the lion's share of the cases, they're giving us 50% reimbursement
Okay.
of the whatever the hours are, but for purposes here, the total voucher amount or the total what's going out the door from a budgetary standpoint.
Question, sorry. How many attorneys do you have?
How many attorneys do we have?
Yeah.
Well, we have a list of us. These are
They
private
send it out
attorneys,
to- Okay,
right? So they're not on staff,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a pool,
right?
and you'd say, okay, this one's,
Yeah.
will fit here, there's no conflict,
Yeah.
you know, this kind of thing.
The family court does their own assigning.
Uh,
We just do the approving, but they control their own assigning process there.
Okay.
That was something that historically they wanted to bring, control that process, and that's continued.
Well, as much as I don't want to keep touching this thing, you know, in subsequent months, I also don't feel comfortable just going like this, or none of us do, over 450,000 without a little bit more detail.
Mhm.
So I think the way, you know, we're thinking about proceeding here tonight is to give what's necessary tonight to pay all the outstanding vouchers, which is about, according to the treasurer, 170,000. And come back with another resolution that's a little meatier, and I don't mean meteor coming from the sky meteor, I mean beefier, you know, with some detail here about, you know, the cases and, you know, the math behind it, you know what I mean? And also if you can work with the treasurer on a figure that makes sense for our budget too, for 2026.
Very good.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
legislative suite.
Who makes the determination of the conflict?
Public Defender's Office in general.
So, because it just seems like the numbers are continually going up, is there a reason that we've had more conflicts in the past few years compared to prior years?
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the?
So, we haven't spent as much money, I mean, and I know the rate has gone up, but it seems like we're spending more and more money, so that means we're having more and more conflicts. Who's making the determination, if the public defender is making the determination of the conflict, why are we having more conflicts over the last few years?
We probably are having more cases than, in general. From my experience, I mean, you can look at the calendars in the criminal court, you can look at the calendars in the family court. I don't know if I'd use the word explosion, but there's just many more cases are being filed. And then because of that, there would by implication be more conflicts as well.
Is there a way to eliminate or alleviate conflicts?
Yes, potentially. We would have to bring the public defender's office in on it and have more of a higher level discussion about what qualifies as a conflict.
Because it seems to me, and I'm not an attorney, or I don't really know much about this, but it seems to me like we're having more and more conflicts. I just want to know how that conflict is being deemed a conflict.
And why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And another aspect of this.
I mean, it's tough for me in my position to question the public defender's office and on
Oh, yeah.
whether it really
Sure.
is a conflict, but it is an issue. The issue meaning some of these cases theoretically can still be handled by the public defender's office in-house,
Mhm.
and that budget's already paid for,
Right.
Yeah.
and that type of thing.
Is this in any way attributable, Attorney Francisco, to the legion of lawyers we have on staff here? That we pay money to somehow, some way, and because that sample size has blown up over the years, how many do we have on staff? You know, how many attorneys are we paying that we have access to?
For the public defender's office?
Well, yeah, where,
At least 6.
you know, I mean, has that, you know, well.
Well, it
we
should
can't-
work-
we
it
can't
should-
use- This one can't work on.
Mike, it should work inversely, meaning
Okay,
the more attorneys that the public defender's office has, they should be handling more cases.
Correct.
But I can't speak to them. I don't know their caseload. I think it's much higher as well, you know.
it is.
The public defender's office is effectively handling every single criminal case that comes up in this county, sparingly. I mean, I'm down in city court, I see it. Very few private attorneys are being hired on cases because, well, not just the nature of the beast, but, so, you know, if you brought Bill Marticello in here that might be a question for him, but I'm sure the answer will be, we just have a huge increase in our caseload as well.
Okay.
But,
Legislator Headwell.
Can you give like an example of what would be a conflict?
well, again, I mentioned family court. By nature, the public defender's office can't handle both sides of a case. That seems to be logical. So in that situation, the public defender's office will usually hop on one of the sides based upon a history. They've already represented them or someone already, so they're just continuing that representation, and then the other side gets assigned out. But the fact that they've represented someone then a lot of times has a carryover, where the public defender's office is saying, we represented John Doe in this in years gone by, and therefore we feel we can't handle that representation continues as a conflict in this new matter. That's where somebody else might take a different approach and say that's not a conflict.
It's old news,
Huh?
right? Yeah, old news.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
You know, so on some of the cases, I've looked at them and said that I felt that the public defender's office could stay on the case and not put it into my office.
So you determine if it should come to your office?
Well, I don't get
or-
involved in it because then I'd be doing it on an ad hoc basis, every case. And then again, I don't know the history. A lot of times when I do call over there and ask them, well, what's the conflict? What's the basis of it? You know, I get a longer history than was presented, and you know, then it is what it is. But you know, I met with the county executive, and I told them that effectively that I was going to get together with Bill and discuss the issue of conflicts and whether they can take a different approach to them, because I knew what was coming down the pike here.
Okay.
Megan, what's your?
I would not want to put anything on record without having more knowledge in front of me. But I would agree with a lot of what you said about caseloads, and things are increasing, and I think collaboration is always good.
Could you look to see if other counties are having the same issue
As far as
As far
increased
as-
bills,
of having assigned counsel like we are? I mean, similar sized counties maybe, you know, just to see, is it just our
Is
county?
it an anomaly to Montgomery County, or is it
Or
happening?
is it something that's happening throughout the state because of whatever? It just seems like all of a sudden this has become huge.
Hmm.
I can reach out to some of my
With no
colleagues
real-
and see.
Yeah, like a-
I mean, other than the explanation that he's given us tonight, which is, you know, it's fair, but,
Yeah, yep.
okay.
You know, in some sense, it is the new reality.
Yes, yes.
And I think as a governmental entity, we have to kind of view it and budget for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think, I think we've come to that conclusion that the volume is up and the rate is up. And, we knew that was most of the substance behind this, but we wanted to see it kind of extrapolated out,
Yeah.
and with a request this size, that's all, so.
Yeah.
And I think we also want to find out what makes the determination of when you go to court. They say if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you.
Yes.
Who makes that decision?
The decision of what?
Of if you can't afford it? Who makes the decision that I can't afford it and I get assigned a public defender?
That's effectively, right now, that's a state mandate now.
Well, let's say I'm a millionaire and I come in and I say, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Who's
talking,
the financial counselor says,
well, they
Can't
do
afford
an
it.
affidavit, and I review that affidavit
okay,
in each case.
okay,
We do a review.
Okay.
okay,
Um,
Because some people are just like, I don't need it.
yeah,
Right.
Take the free ride.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little ridiculous, I have to admit, that some of the standards are so loose that someone can have a substantial value house, but with a mortgage, if they can prove that their expenses are, and their liquid assets don't are not
Covered.
capable of hiring an attorney, in theory, they get approved.
Mhm.
But we draw the line somewhere on those.
Okay.
I was just wondering how that got determined, thank you.
Attorney Francisco, thank you.
Okay, thanks a
And,
Thank you.
again, I urge you to, you know.
I'll get together with Sean
Sean
on the
and with Bill.
pipeline stuff coming down the pike here
Yeah.
for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
So, all right,
I really appreciate it.
yeah, okay.
All right, well then I would like to make a motion to amend this resolution, and change the dollar amounts, from 450 to 170 right now. And Legislator Headwell seconds it. All in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
All right, now, all in favor of the resolution as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
All right. Thank you, Attorney Francisco.
Okay,
Thank
so-
you.
Have a good evening.
Resolution number 214, amending the 2025 operating budget to eliminate the position of First Assistant District Attorney and establish the position of Deputy Chief Assistant District Attorney. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 215, amending the 2025 operating budget, accepting additional Stop DWI High Visibility Engagement Campaign crackdown funds. It's a mouthful. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Pollock. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 216, authorizing county executive to sign New York State Indigent Legal Services contract. Sponsors were legislators Pollock and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 217, authorizing county executive to execute a contract with James McGinnis and Associates. Sponsors were legislators Pollock and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 218, amending the 2025 operating budget. Sponsors were in mental health. Sponsors were legislators Pollock and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 219, amending Resolution 135 of 2025. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Pollock. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 220, amending the 2025 operating budget carryover grant funds, 2024 through 25 PHEP grant funds from Public Health. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 221, amending the 2025 operating budget infrastructure grant. Sponsors were legislators Pollock and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 222, amending the 2025 operating budget for social services. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Peck. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 223, authorizing the county executive to sign an agreement with the city of Amsterdam. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Peck. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye. Abstention.
Okay,
Sorry.
Passed.
understood. All right, resolution 224, accepting adoption and legal guardianship incentive funds. Sponsors were legislators Majewski and Pollock. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Passed.
Resolution 225, amending the 2025 operating budget and establishing 2 part-time motor vehicle operators. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Passed.
Resolution 226, amending the 2025 operating budget, establishing additional social service attorneys and eliminating the position of supervising social services attorney. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Pep. I would like to withdraw my sponsorship of this resolution because we will be entertaining it as an add-on with an amendment. All in favor of withdrawing it?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay.
Passed.
You don't really need to.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
okay. Resolution 227, Amending the 2025 operating budget, mental health, sponsors the legislators Pep and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 228, authorizing county executive to sign agreement, continuation of CLEO agreement between the county of Montgomery and the counties of Fulton and Schoharie. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Majewski. All in favor, or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention.
Passed.
Resolution 229, a resolution of the legislature of Montgomery County extending additional 1% sales and compensating use taxes pursuant to Article 29 of the New York State Tax Law by amending Resolution 311 of 1967. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Kowalczyk. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 230, approving a successor agreement between Fulton Montgomery Community College and Educational Support Personnel, ESP, for the period of September 1, 25 through August 31, 2028. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Pauly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 231, authorizing and approving a settlement agreement with Purdue Sackler and authorizing voting in favor of the bankruptcy plan. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 232, authorizing and approving a settlement agreement with multiple entities in the opioid litigation. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Majewski. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 233, approving the 2026 capital projects for FMCC. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 234, approving abstract of audited claims. Sponsors were legislators Kelly and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Resolution 235, changing the position of database administrator from full-time to part-time. Sponsors were legislators Kowalczyk and Kelly. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Okay, now for our add-on resolution of the evening, amending the 2025 operating budget, establishing additional social services attorneys and eliminating the position of supervising social services attorney. I will sponsor it. Do I have a second? Legislator Sweet. The Commissioner of Health and Human Services is here this evening. Mr. Beck, do you want to just elaborate on the amendment to the original?
Sure, it was my fault, I missed it when it went on the agenda. I should have said this to begin with. So really what we're looking for is 3 senior, I put in an email to the chair and the chair of our committee. It's basically what we're looking for is a little bit more senior. So we would have 3 I think the qualifications are like 5 years of experience in family court. And then 1 would be at the DSS Attorney 1 level, which is basically out of law school. So we had no success in the supervising. We had 1 person that Megan and I interviewed. Unfortunately, that person turned us down. Wasn't really due to pay, it was due to a lot of time at another county, and didn't want to give up a lot of the luxuries that are afforded at that point, vacation, personal sick. So this was our best strategy. We're gonna try to do this, and hopefully we can get those people in.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Passed.
Any other business anybody would like to discuss? Legislator Hedwell.
September is child or children's cancer awareness month. And I think sometimes we do resolutions or proclamations at the end of the month, proclaiming that month. I mean, we've done it with Dairy Month, but it's always, is there a way that we can kind of maybe start looking at these things and maybe talking about the proclamation for the month that's going to, or maybe some things that when we announce these things that we can also say, this is some of the things that are gonna be happening in the month versus have the proclamation after the month is over.
To increase awareness about it during that month.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of things
Good
that are,
idea.
that are going on, I mean,
Yeah.
which would be nice to be able to at least maybe get some more participation in the county and different things to do, but.
well, that said, now that we're too late to do September for childhood cancer, would you like, any kind of proclamation at the end of the month, even though it's not in the order?
No, I
You
mean,
wanna see it happen?
We can talk about it, but I'm just saying, this
Okay.
is one of the good, it's a good example of
Okay.
what we're talking about.
All
That
right.
it would be nice to have it now,
Yeah.
and maybe some things that we will be doing in the county to promote some of these things that happen.
Okay, makes sense. All right, any other discussion? Motion to adjourn, legislator Kowalczyk and Majewski. Meeting is adjourned at 6:45 PM. Thank you.